I'm going to talk about the disability that comes from experiencing invisible disability. Low support needs, autism, ADHD are perhaps the most invisible of invisible disabilities. And I have both conditions, and there are disabilities that are invisible, such as dyslexia, dyscalculia, but you know you have them. You don't have to wonder, well, am I dyslexic? Am I dyscalculic? It's fairly obvious that you do have those neurotypes when you do, or those invisible disabilities, because they directly affect you in some very concrete, easy to understand way. That's not always the case with ADHD or autism, especially when that autism does not come with obvious factors such as apraxia, or the inability to speak, or a severe a severe form of impairment. And I would I would say that when you have an invisible disability, people, or rather when you experience invisible disability, keeping in line with the social model, um, is that people expect you to be normal. People expect you to be normal. People expect you to follow what is expected within society or within that given context. They will not believe you if you ask for accommodations, or maybe they will believe you, but it's just very hard to convince them. And they will be taken very much aback if you act too autistic or too ADHD or whatnot, or they will say that you're being too lazy, too rude, too this, too that. And so the response to that in many of us autistic or ADHD people is to hide our disability, to hide our autism, to hide our ADHD, and try to overcompensate for it in ways that ultimately are very damaging and very harmful. Say there's a person in a wheelchair. No one expects them to get up and run. But then there's me, an autistic person. People expect that I will make eye contact, that I won't be blunt and direct when speaking to people, that I won't flap my hands in public, that I won't plug my ears when it gets too loud. People expect that I don't do those things, and they will negatively judge me when I do those things sometimes, and not always, but certainly sometimes this has happened. And I have often feared that it might, especially when it comes to people that I don't know, people that don't know me and don't know my needs. And I think that just leads to me saying, ableism is a big part of our society, much more than we'd like to think. And we need to, autistic or not autistic, ADHD or not ADHD, neurodivergent or neurotypical, we need to talk about this. We need to make the stop. Ableism is a problem because it's not just lack of understanding of autism or lack of understanding of invisible disabilities. It's not. Because people don't always react negatively to things they don't understand. People often react with curiosity to things they don't understand. The problem is people in our society, not all people, but one of the general attitudes that we experience in our society is that if your brain does not work normally, then there's a problem that needs to be fixed. If ableism was not a reality, people would react to invisible disabilities with compassion and understanding universally. Universally react with compassion and understanding to invisible disabilities. The reality is far from that. Let's all work towards a world where we react to seeing people who show signs of invisible disabilities with compassion, understanding, and acknowledgement of those disabilities and acknowledgement of those neurotypes in all of their forms. Thanks for watching.